Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today, as you see on my screen, I am at the War Forums, and what I have in front of me is a Watcher blue post concerning the latest build that's going to hit the beta Legion servers, concerning the talent respects and so on. So, first of all, I would like to read this out. I'll put the link at the description down below if you want to check it for yourself. And to be honest, at the end I will discuss a little bit about what are the issues, if there are any, and overall my opinion. So, starting with the post, says, we have definitely heard much feedback to this effect, and this is something we'd be discussing quite a bit internally as well over the past couple of weeks. In an upcoming build, hopefully the next one, if not the one after, the respec cost is gone, and players can freely switch between all specializations with a normal restriction of cast time needing to be out of combat and so forth. So what this practically means that you can go, this is the tri-spec or the quad spec for all the classes. Okay, ultimately the intent behind the respec cost, which isn't really a new concept dating back to 2004 class trainers, was to help reinforce a bit of spec identity through declaring a primary spec which you could always return for free and to serve as a mild gold sink. But in practice, changing specializations is a pretty significant transformation in the terms of action bars, optimal gear in some cases, artifacts and so forth, and already not something that people were taking lightly. I suspect the cost will not be missed, and you will be right. An area that has appeared to need a bit more friction, however, is actually talent changes, especially with no reagent calls at all now. It can be all too easy to activate our talents before dagger packs of enemies in a dungeon, and then switch back to single target talents before a lieutenant or a boss. Or someone might switch to a passive movement speed talent while traversing an area, and then back to something functional before entering a combat. At that point, we are often hardly talking about a meaningful choice at all, but rather a nuisance of extra button presses or UI navigation before you can use your desired talents. And so, alongside removing the respec cost, the same upcoming build will also restrict the ability to change talents when away from a safe area, defined as an area that provides the reset state. We currently plan to give scribes a recipe to craft a consumable tome that can be dropped in order to allow all nearby players to retalent freely for a time, particularly useful for group play. So, what are the things that Ion Hazikostas has put us out there to read? So first things first is that you won't be having the choice of two specs right now. You will have all of them, and you can just go through, I don't know, let's say for a war you can go from arms to fury or even protection with no cost. If you don't have to go back to your trainer and just respec if you haven't got one of those things, you can do it on your own anytime, wherever you are. Just you have to wait the few seconds that the bar is required to fill. But the other thing that is a little bit frustrating, and if you go and check the forum pages, you will see a lot of people saying that this is a far greater nuisance than it was before, is that you can no longer change your talents. And this is the talents that you get from leveling up when you are not inside a city or an inn. This is where the nuisance comes from. Because as you can probably understand, Ian gave a valid reason, and I know it's a valid one. I can see where he's coming from, but to be honest, would that be the case? I mean, yeah, sure, I would like to go from point A to point B faster, but, or I don't know, because he mentioned here the traversing an area, but why would you do that? You gotta mount. And changing to an AOE talent and then go back to a single target talent. Is this something that will affect the overall gameplay? Hopefully not, and not hopefully, probably not. There was one good and an explanation about this, giving the Mythic Plus system that are going to be introducing in Legion, saying that you can pre-plan beforehand that the next pack is going to be with 4 or 5 elites in it. The other one's going to be the boss, so you can just pre-plan your talents. But is this something that players who are taking the game seriously are doing right now? They just got a buttload of tomes and they just respecting their talents accordingly. So why restrict them? Do they just have to go back to a city and then go out back to the world? I mean, the only logical explanation that I could give, and this is something that I would like to be discussed, is that if your order hall spell that you can go to your order hall works as similar as the Death Knight's Death Gate right now in the game, which you can go from wherever you are back to the Oculus, and if you use it the same ability again, it will get you from Oculus to the place you were last were. If this was something, I can see the change, but it will still be a nuisance for players, and I don't see it like staying for a long time. I mean, there was a huge cry for this thing, because not only that, if you're in a raid and you had a single boss that has only itself that needed to be TPS down with no ads, and then you go to the next boss that had a lot of ads, if you don't have an inscriptor, or someone with an inscription profession in your raid, then you're fucked. You have to leave the raid and then go to a major city or whatever your Hearthstone is, I don't know, and then from there take the flight path back to the raid, get in, move your ass over to the boss, and then kill it. Then to the next boss, if it's going to be a single target boss, you just have to keep repeating the same thing. And I'm pretty sure that players don't want to have this because it's really nuisance. I mean, why remove the reagent? If this is something that you are considering, just give back the reagent. It was something that the player base was actually okay with. If you want to actually get the inscription profession a little bit more credit, you can actually give the inscription guys the ability to create these reagents that are going to be replacing the talents, so this won't hurt them financially, I mean, but we will be having still the reagents. It's going to cost some money, but okay, and I would be fine with that. Having to leave the raid or a place, let's say that I'm doing world content, I'm doing, I don't know, killing mobs, okay, and since I'm going outside the world, I will be having our talents, and then I would like to go to do, I don't know, a world boss. This means that I'll have to go back to a place with a rested area, and then change the talent, and then go back out the world. Maybe someone will have already killed it, and this is something that I personally don't like, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are with me on this thing. If you really want the inscription guys to get something out of it, just make the reagent to be crafted via the inscription profession. This will keep them relevant throughout the game, and it will remove the nuisance from players to just having to leave wherever they were and go to an area with a resident in, I don't know, whatever, Dalaran. And because you have to factor that you won't be always having a warlock in your raid, or I don't know, and you would have to travel back and forth from where you are just to change one talent. So this is not something that the player base would like. So guys, this is for this video. It was pretty quick. I just wanted you to know what's going on right now, and this is something that's been debated a lot in this forum post. I'll put the link in the description down below if you would like to go and check and see the response from the player base and give your own feedback. They are seeing this thing, they are close with it because it's a new change. Also, if you have a YouTuber that is on the Legion right now, and you can actually give your feedback on them too, they will just pass it out. And if you are currently subscribed to the game, you can do this for yourself. So thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.